Hey guys, what's up? It's Amanda. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video has been heavily requested and I've been receiving a lot of questions about basically this topic. So I kind of sat down, did a little bit of research. I have a few questions from you guys and we're going to talk about the different types of nursing programs that are available. I kind of planned it out that I'm going to be talking about the similarities between them and then I'm going to go into the differences and then I'm going to kind of work into hopefully helping you guys figure out which program would be best for you guys. First, I just want to say that if you've never seen a video of mine before, my name's Amanda. I am a new grad nurse. I think I can still say that. It hasn't quite been a year yet. I did an accelerated bachelor's of nursing program, so that is where my background is. The information I will be telling you about the BSN and ADN programs are not from experience, obviously, but they're going to be from experience of others and things that I've seen, and basically a lot of the information is going to be from my location where I am, what I feel like is going on. So hopefully that makes sense. Let's get into the similarities between everything. First of all, I'm gonna actually define all of those for you. So an ABSN is an accelerated bachelor's of science in nursing. BSN is a bachelor's of science in nursing. And then an ADN is an associate's degree in nursing. So the ABSN, BSN, ADN, those letters are just the schooling you went through. At the end of the day, you still have to take the NCLEX for every single one of those degrees, and you will still be an RN, registered nurse, at the end of all three of those degrees. So in that sense, the biggest difference is just the schooling. Another similarity, and I don't know if this is 100% true, but I know at least at my job, I don't get paid more having my BSN and doing an ABSN program versus someone who has their associate's degree in nursing. We get paid the same amount. And I don't think that there's any difference in job opportunities for ADN versus BSN versus ABSN. But that's just at my hospital, and I don't know that last part. I don't know if it's a fact. I know a lot of people that I do work with have BSNs. I just think it's a little more common in my area because we have a ton of universities that do BSN programs and we just have one small technical college that does an ADN program. Job outlook, for the most part, I would say is pretty similar. Pay might be a little different. At my hospital it's the same, but other hospitals may be different. Now I'm going to go into the differences, and there's definitely a lot of differences between the three different programs. So let's get into those. First of all, I'm going to go through the prerequisites because I feel like that's the biggest difference between an ABSN and a BSN. An accelerated BSN program, 99% of the time, you need to already have a bachelor's degree. If you don't have a bachelor's degree, ABSN is not going to be an option for you. If you don't have a bachelor's degree, you can go for your BSN or your ADN. But if you have a bachelor's degree already, you could go for all three programs, and it's not really going to make a difference at the end of the day. So that's the biggest difference between an ABSN and a BSN. ABSN, you are required to have a bachelor's degree already. For the most part, ABSN and BSN, at least at my college, the actual prereq classes were all the same. I'm not sure entirely about ADN programs. I know the tech school in the area that I live, the way that it works to apply for that, you basically go to the technical school and you do some general education classes, and then at some point you're able to petition to start the nursing program. I know that it's quite a long process and wait list, at least, again, this is just from my experience. I know of people who have been waiting to get into the program for 2 or 3 years before they're finally admitted into the program. That's something to keep in mind. But again, you still have to apply for an ABSN program, you still have to apply for a BSN program. They are competitive no matter what program you're doing. It's going to be difficult, and you're going to have to really prove yourself on your application and in any interviews they do or whatever. So yeah, that's the differences with the prerequisites. Next, I'm going to talk about the length of the program, which is, I think, one of the bigger differences. So an ABSN is an accelerated BSN, which means it is done faster in a shorter amount of time. My ABSN program was 12 months compared to the BSN program, which is 2 years. There are some ABSN programs that are 18 months or a little longer, or anywhere between 12 and 18 months. And there are some BSN programs that are 2.5 years or even 3 years. ADN programs, for the most part, are 2-year degrees. But for the BSN, you have 2 years of undergrad prereqs and then 2 years of nursing school. So it's 4-year degree, and then the ADN is just a 2-year degree. Again, at least here in Wisconsin, that's how it is. In the area that I live in, this is the case. Another really big difference, like probably the biggest difference, is the cost. And that's where a lot of people struggle, honestly. And that's probably going to be the biggest determinant of which program is the best fit for you. ABSN programs typically are very expensive. My program was $45,000 for 12 months versus the BSN program at the same college. Just tuition was about $11,000 a year. So the whole program would have been about 20 something for the nursing program, but then you have to think about the 2 years ahead of that. So I mean, at the end of the day, it kind of evens out a little bit. You're getting a whole nother bachelor's degree for $40,000, and like the nursing program itself would have been $40,000-ish for all 4 years. And then I just looked up the technical college in the area that I live in. It says the estimated program cost for 66 credits is just under $13,000. And I think that includes books and a lot of things. So substantially less than the BSN and ABSN. So yeah, that's like the difference cost-wise. Typically, an ABSN is more expensive than a BSN, and then the ABSN and BSN are more expensive than the associate's degree. In the program itself, like learning-wise, what you learn in an ADN versus a BSN versus an ABSN. ABSN and BSN pretty much are the same. I know when I did my ABSN, there was like a few classes we didn't have to take, but those were just to like cover some gen ed credits that we needed. So there were a few classes that we didn't have to take, like a leadership class or two. The biggest difference between BSN and ADN is that BSN focuses a lot on research and evidence-based practice, and a lot more on like the I want to say like the scholar aspect of nursing, which is not as much focused on in the ADN program. The ADN program is a lot more like skills focused and clinical practice and a lot more of the doing, and BSN has the extra component of research-based, evidence-based practice and stuff like that. So that's like the biggest difference. Like that's like the general differences between the three. But like I said before, at the end of the day, you will be an RN, registered nurse, be able to practice nursing probably anywhere you want. Probably, no matter what actual degree you have and what schooling you go through. So I will say though that there's hospitals who have what's called like magnet status, and to keep that magnet status they have to have a certain number of bachelor prepared nurses. So I actually take it back, it might be more difficult having an ADN versus a BFN to get a degree in hospital. If you want to do home health or clinic or nursing home, it's not going to matter either way. You're still also going to be able to get a job in a hospital. Like, it's not the end of the world if you don't. Yeah, I wanted to add that because now that I've been sitting and thinking about that, that is a thing. Back to which program is best for you. So it's honestly going to depend on what your goal is with nursing. If you want to eventually like get your doctorate in nursing, become a DNP, do some advanced practice, do like midwifery, do a master's or something, you're going to need your bachelor's degree. Granted, if you like have your associate's degree, there are some like bridge programs that will go from associates to a BSN, and then you'd be able to continue on. But if you know that that's like a huge goal of yours, I would focus more towards like the BSN programs. If you want to just do bedside nursing, you could do either. Another big thing is the cost of them. With the ADN program being the cheapest, it might be worth your while to pay the smaller amount to get your ADN, and then down the road do a bridge program, and sometimes your employer can pay for that too. If you already have a degree, it's a little bit different. My guess would be that you are already like me in debt from your first degree. You may or may not have a family. Honestly, it's going to depend on your situation and where you are. ABSN programs are very time consuming and very expensive, and yes, you are done a lot sooner, but you also pay a lot more money and you're not really able to work a ton during the program. So there's definitely some risks and benefits. Looking back on it, I don't regret my choice to do an ABSN program. I'm glad that I was able to get done and get out in the workforce a year earlier. Now I'm going to go and kind of just address a few questions that I saw on Instagram that I had asked you guys to ask me. So someone had asked, do ADN nurses have a harder time getting jobs versus BSN in hospitals? And I already kind of addressed that, but I would say maybe a little bit, but not extremely, and it's going to depend on the area that you live in and what kind of hospital jobs are out there. My city, there are 3 major hospitals, so I'm pretty sure that they're not gonna really care, because right now there's such a nursing shortage too that I don't think they're gonna care as much about where you get your degree from. Someone else asked, what does the ADN to BSN actually entail? And I'm not 100% sure on that. I know my college had an online thing. I don't want to like say the wrong thing, so I'm just gonna say that I'm pretty sure that like you're still able to work kind of as a nurse during the thing, and then you just basically take the classes. I would assume it's more of like the evidence-based practice classes, because you already know the majority of nursing stuff. I don't know how long it takes. It's obviously going to depend on where you go, but then you don't have to sit for the NCLEX again because you already have your RN license. Like you already have your license, so it's just a little bit extra schooling. Someone else asked the best options for people looking at nursing as a second career, and I would say any of them are your best options. I think it's going to depend on where you are financially and what's available for financial aid and scholarships. And then someone else said that there's not a difference in degrees, so why not go for the accelerated and be done faster? And I actually, again, explained that there is a difference in the ADN versus BSN degrees. And then accelerated BSN versus BSN, you have to have a degree already. So if you don't have the degree already, the accelerated program is not an option for you. And some people just can't afford it, and that's totally okay. Like totally okay. Just do what you can, do what you can afford. So I think that's a kind of a common misconception is people hear ABSN and they're like, oh, faster, okay. But it's like you already have to have a degree, and it's a big commitment. It is a very big commitment. I hope that kind of gave you a little clarification on the differences between ABSN versus BSN versus ADN. I'm just going to summarize real quick. ABSN, BSN, same curriculum, same things you're learning. ABSN, you have to have a degree already, usually a little more expensive, but you're done a little quicker. BSN, 4-year college program. You do 2 years of prereqs, 2 years of nursing school, usually maybe 3 years of nursing school, maybe 5 years total, depending on where you are. Typically the cost of just a normal degree, it's not anything more expensive than if you were to go get another bachelor's degree. And then ADN is a little bit different curriculum wise from the BSN programs, but it's usually a lot shorter, not a ton shorter, but usually shorter than the BSN, and costs a lot less money. And at the end of the day, you are a registered nurse no matter which of the 3 options you choose. That's the biggest takeaway that I want you guys to get from this, is that no matter which one you do, you will still be a nurse and you will still get a job. It might not be exactly where you want it to be, but be financially responsible. And yeah, that is going to be it for today's video. If you guys have any other questions regarding BSN, ABSN, ADN programs, please feel free to comment them below. I will do my best to answer them. If you see another comment down below that you know the answer to and I tried to answer it and I did not answer it correctly, please feel free to correct me, because I don't want to be giving people wrong information. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe, and I will see you guys next week. Bye!